Good afternoon, all. Those who joined late. We'll start with hydrocarbons today. So just to give you a brief, in GOC, we have studied IUPAC rules. We have done IUPAC. In GOC, we have done isomerism in GOC. We have done electronic effects. And we have done practical organic chemistry. These 4 topics we have done in GOC. We have not done reaction mechanism because the types of reaction I am going to consider in hydrocarbons. Most of those type of reactions I am going to consider it in hydrocarbons. All right. So students, in hydrocarbons, we'll start with alkanes today. Let us see what they are. And then we'll move towards conformational isomers, right? And then we'll move towards their preparation and chemical properties, right? So we'll start with alkanes in hydrocarbons. As all of you know, alkanes have a general formula of CnH2n+2, right? You can write all the homologous series of this. The first fundamental alkane is methane. It is also known as marsh gas. It is also known as marsh gas. Methane is known as marsh gas, right? In fact, your LPG, which you use in home gases, also is a mixture of alkanes only, right? Liquefied petroleum gas. It's also a mixture of alkanes. It's isobutane basically. Now let's begin with the conformational isomers in alkane. Conformational isomerism in alkane. Right? Now, to begin conformational isomerism, I would like to discuss one thing, that is the projection formulas. So we have not seen the projection formulas in isomerism. We'll discuss it here. Then we'll go ahead. Give me a minute. Right. Your friends are still, I can see some of you are still joining in. So I see very few people are present today. All right, we'll start. Students, conformational isomerism arises due to rotation about carbon-carbon single sigma bond, right? So it is the rotation. It is due to rotation, and let me write due to free rotation. There is no restricted rotation here. Yes, Samita, I also feel so. But maybe due to some other batches, they have done this. Right. So due to free rotation about carbon-carbon single bond, you get conformational isomerism. Whereas if you remember in geometrical isomerism is due to restricted rotation about carbon-carbon double bond, or you can say pi bond, right? Now, let me take it further, right? So before I go to conformational isomerism, students, I'll be teaching you about Newman projection and Sawhorse projection. I hope you are already aware of it. If you are not, anyways, I'm going to teach you. Don't worry. So Newman and Sawhorse formula, because we are going to use it for conformations. So students, I will take the example of ethane to write the projection formula. So what I get in ethane is, this is the structure of ethane, expanded form. So in Newman and Sawhorse, what do we generally do is, if this is a carbon-carbon bond, right? So right now we are seeing it from the horizontal angle. If I tilt it like this is a carbon-carbon bond angle, CC bond. Rather than seeing it like this, I am going to tilt it slightly and see it like this, right? So the bond will look to me like this, tilted. So this is my carbon-carbon bond. Now you see first carbon, that is this carbon, one hydrogen is above, one on the left, and one on the down. So it looks like a Y. Yes, it looks like a Y. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to draw one Y here. Right? H, H, H. Same thing with this also, up, right, left. So this also looks like a Y. So I'm going to draw one Y here also. Right? So students, this is the Sawhorse projection by drawing the carbon-carbon bond at slightly tilted angle, right? Now in Newman, what you do, this is your carbon-carbon bond. Rather than seeing it like this, you see it like this, along the bond. So when you see along the bond, you'll be able to see the front carbon clearly, but the back carbon will not be visible clearly. So therefore, when I draw it, I draw two circles, one big circle, one small circle. So small circle represent the carbon at front. So carbon at front has 3 hydrogen. So I'm drawing 3 hydrogen in the form of Y. And the back carbon also has 3 hydrogen. I'm drawing the back carbon is this, 3 hydrogen again. This is how it looks. All right. So students, this is Newman projection of ethane. This is Sawhorse projection of ethane. Now we are going to draw its conformers. Now we are going to draw its conformers. So how we are going to draw its conformers, students? This is our carbon-carbon bond. I'm going to keep the back end carbon same, but I'm going to rotate the front carbon positions of CH bond. So I'm going to rotate the front carbon positions, but the back carbon will remain same. So please pay attention. So now see students, this is my first carbon having CH bond like this. This is my second carbon having CH bond like this. Now what is the angle between these two CH bonds? The angle between these two CH bonds, students, you can see is they are parallel to each other. So the angle between this CH, let me change the color. The angle between the green CH and the white CH here is 0 degree. Theta is 0 degree. So you can draw it like this. This is the back CH. This is the front CH. So back CH and front CH. What is the angle between these two planes? The angle between these two planes is right now 0 degree. They are at 0 degree parallel to each other. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to rotate this carbon positions, right? This one, right? So first carbon remains same. How much I'm going to rotate? I'm going to rotate theta by 60 degree. So first carbon remain as it is. So I'm going to keep a first carbon as it is. H, H, H. First carbon I have not changed at all. Now the back carbon, what is the angle between these two CH? 120 degree. So if I rotate by 60 degree, it will come somewhere here. So therefore this CH comes here, and this CH and this CH. This angle is also 120 degree. So if I rotate by 60 degree, it will come somewhere here. So this CH comes here. And if I rotate by another 60 degree, this CH and this CH angle is also 120 degree. So on 60 degree, this CH will come here, right? So as you can see, the angle between this CH now and this CH now is 60 degree. Student, this angle is known as dihedral angle. It is known as dihedral angle. And this conformation where the angle is 0 degree is known as eclipse conformation. It's like solar or lunar eclipse. Whereas this conformation is known as staggered conformation. Right? Now, if you rotate by another 60 degree, you can rotate it yourself, keep the front carbon same. You will get again eclipse conformation. Again, you rotate by 60 degree, you will get again staggered. You can rotate and try. You'll again get staggered. So you'll keep getting eclipse and staggered. Now, which one is more stable? Eclipse is less stable than staggered. Staggered is more stable conformation. Why? Because when the CH bond will be parallel to each other, the two CH bond electrons will repel each other. And that repulsion is also known as eclipsing strain. So it is less stable due to eclipsing strain. There can be assertion reasoning question on this. Right? There can be assertion reasoning question on this. Assertion can be eclipsed conformation is less stable than staggered conformation. And reason can be due to eclipsing strain. So both assertion and reason are true. And assertion is the correct explanation of the reason also. I hope it is clear. Now this is about ethane. Now I'm going to draw the conformations of butane, student, because that is what is more important than ethane. So if you see, butane is what? Replace this hydrogen by methyl, replace this hydrogen by methyl, you'll get butane. This is your butane. H, CH3, H, right? Now, if you see, it is almost same as ethane, only one hydrogen on this carbon, one hydrogen on this carbon is replaced by methyl. So my conformation remains same. This is my front carbon having two hydrogen, one methyl. This is my back carbon having one methyl, two hydrogen. Now students, pay attention. All the conformations after this are important. This is eclipse conformation. I'm naming it as eclipse 1. Why eclipse 1? The angle between two CH3 is theta 0 degree. Rotated by 60 degree. This methyl will rotate in this direction 60 degree. So you will get CH3 here, H here, H here. This CH3 will come here, H will come here, H will come here. Now students, you can see the angle between two CH3 now is 60 degree. So this is at what angle? 60 degree angle. This is given a name of, it is a staggered only. It is given a separate name called Gauch. It is known as Gauch conformation. Very important. We'll discuss it. I'll write the Gauch again because it is not clear. So let me write the Gauch again. So student, this is Gauch. I'm writing this also as Gauch 1, right? Now rotate this again by 60 degree. This methyl will come here. You can keep trying rotating it. So you'll get CH3, H, H. So CH3 will come here. H will come here. And H will come here. Now again, the bonds are exactly behind each other. So when bonds are exactly parallel to each other, then this conformation is also eclipsed. But this eclipse and this eclipse are different because here the two CH3 are at 0 degree angle. But here two CH3 are not at 0 degree angles. So I will say it is eclipse 2. This eclipse is different from the previous eclipse. All right. Rotate it again by 60 degree. So this is at theta 120 degree. If you rotate it again by 60 degree, students, let us see what you're going to get. First carbon as it is, no change, CH3HH. Second carbon methyl will come here. Hydrogen here, hydrogen here. Now the angle between two CH3 is 180 degree. Again, they are not parallel. So this is also kind of staggered conformation. It is given a separate name, anti. Why anti? Because the angle between two CH3 is 180 degree. I hope it is clear. Let us draw one more 60 degree rotation. So this will come now here. So that you'll get CS3, H, H, then CS3 comes here, H goes here, H goes here, right? You can write this CS3 as CH3. Now rotate, this is at theta what angle? 240 degree angle. We'll rotate till 360 degree, students. Exam may, this is not what is going to be asked. I'm going to explain everything. That's why I'm writing all the structures. Now what is form is this? This is also eclipse. Now CS3 and H are at 0 degree. Here also CS3 and H were at 0 degree. So this eclipse is nothing but eclipse 2. Both the eclipses are same. Now here I'm going to get H, H. Now by 60 degree, this methyl will again go up and come here. This is H, this is H. Now this is at theta 300 degree. Now the angle between two methyl is 60 degree again, which is same as this. So this is also called Gauge. This is also called Gauge. All right, let me charge my device. 1 minute, give me a minute. All right, we are fine here now. So it is got. I hope it is clear. Now let us take one more rotation of 60 degree. If you take one more 60 degree rotation, students, this methyl will rotate by 60 degree and come here. So that again both the methyl are parallel to each other. H, H, parallel H, parallel H. Now students, here theta is 360 degree. Now this eclipse CS3 parallel matches with this eclipse CS3 parallel. So theta is 0 degree there. So that is named as eclipse 1. Now if you check the stability, stability has been found to be NT is more stable, then Gauge, then eclipse 2, then eclipse 1. Why eclipse 1 is least stable? Because two methyl group are exactly behind each other. So they will repel more. When methyl group at 60 degree, repulsion less, bulky methyl group. When they are at 180 degree, anti, repulsion least. At 180 degree, repulsion is least. So stability is more, right? I'll take a graph and try to explain this. You should be remembering a more stable species has less energy, a less stable species has more energy. So I'm going to draw a graph and explain you this graph also. You can get chemical equilibrium numerical also on this. Let us see. This is your eclipse versus theta. 0, 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360 degree. These are the different possibilities you can have, right? Now, what we can do is at 0 degree, you have eclipse 1. Then at 60 degree, you have Gauge. Gauge is more stable than eclipse, so its energy is less. At 120 degree, you will have eclipse 2, which is again less stable, so more energy, but it is eclipse 2, so its energy will be less than eclipse 1. Then this is at 120 degree. Then 180 degree, you have NT, which is more stable, least energy. 240 you have E2. So 240 you have E2. E2 will lie somewhere here. And then 300 you have Gauge. Gauge is here. NT is here. Gauge. Then 360 again you have E1. E1 will lie somewhere here. Now this is very, very important, right? Now let us check the energy difference between them. If you talk about energy difference between anti and eclipse 2. and T. This is also eclipse 2. So this gap is approximately 16 kilojoule per mole, right? And the energy gap between Gauch and NT, that is this energy gap, is 3.8 kilojoule per mole, right? And the energy gap between E1 and NT, this one, is 19 kilojoule per mole. The values are not important, but you should know the order of stability. So always which conformation of is more stable? Anti. Always anti conformation will be most stable. What question you can get? They will draw 4 projection and ask you which is the most stable conformation. Now I am going to give some exceptions where this does not hold true. So remember these exceptions. If I talk about CH2 methyl, if I replace by OH, or if I take CH2 OHF, if I take CH2 OH NH2, these type of molecules, for all of them Gauch is more stable than NT. For these molecules Gauch is more stable. Why Gauch is more stable? Because in Gauch configuration, students, the OH here and the OH here is stabilized by hydrogen bond. Therefore, the Gauch will be more stable for these molecules wherever hydrogen bonding is present. Gauch will be more stable than NT. So if it is clear, please press yes. If you have any doubts still here, you can ask. We'll move towards preparation of alkanes. Yes, students, if you have any doubts, you can ask here. Yuan has raised hands. Yes, Yuan, what happened? Students, if you have doubts, you can ask me clearly. All right. So I think we can move here. I hope other students are not sleeping because they are not putting yes, they are not putting no, they are not asking doubts. Students, I can't see many yes on the screen. If it is clear, please press yes. Otherwise, I'm going to move ahead. All right, now we have started answering. Do it fast. All right. This is all about isomerism, students. Now let us do a question here, right? A quick question, then we'll move towards preparation of alkanes. Again, options will be raised in the form of poll. Please answer on poll. Question is, which of the following okay. One minute. Yes. Yes, this is a question previous year. So why I'm discussing this? Because previous year there have been a question on this. So please see this. It is AIPMT 2010 question. So the question was, which conformer for ethylene glycol, you should know the structure of ethylene glycol yourself, is most stable. I'm drawing the options here. Which of the following conformation of ethylene glycol is most stable? The options are, I'm drawing them. Pay attention. OH, OH, H, 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 B. OH, H, 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 OH, H. Option C, OH, H, H, OH, H, H. D, OH, H, H, OH, H, H. So you can see all the options carefully. Try to answer this. This is AIPMP 2010. All right, start answering this quickly without the waste of time. Which of the following confirmer? We'll end this poll on account of 3 students, so please vote fast. Right? Please vote fast on the screen. All right, so we'll end it on account of 3, 2, 1. That's all. So you can see, students, many of you have answered C, some of you have answered D. So students, ethylene glycol is nothing but CH2OH, CH2OH. This is the same molecule which I have discussed with you just now. Same molecule, right? And I told you Gauch is more stable here due to intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So the correct answer here was C indeed. I don't know, many of you have answered it A and D. Why? So it should have been 100% correct, right? Fine. So we are done with this, students. Let's move towards the chemical preparation and chemical properties of alkanes. Right? Let us discuss it quickly. So we have done the part of conformation isomers. Now we'll do preparation of alkanes. Students, I'm going to teach hydrocarbon bit slowly. The reason of doing that is I have not discussed reaction mechanism part in GOC. I'm going to explain a lot of reactions and their mechanisms here. So please pay attention here. So first part, student, is how can we prepare alkane? First is from alkenes. From alkenes we can prepare. I'll write a general reaction from alkenes, and actually we can prepare from alkynes also. We can prepare from alkenes. What is the reaction for the preparation of alkanes from alkenes? Right. So the reaction is RCH double bond CH R H2. Right. If you do, this is called hydrogenation reaction. There is no specific mechanism for this, just a heterogeneous mechanism. Hydrogenation of alkene. So add hydrogen, break a pi bond. When you break a pi bond, you'll get a single bond. One hydrogen will be added to this carbon, one will be added to this carbon. So you have converted your double bond into a single bond. Very, very important. Right? Important thing is these two hydrogen will come from same side. They will not come on opposite side. They will always be on same side. Remember this. Right? Now, the catalyst that you have to use here is which catalyst? So your catalyst here, students, can be, right? A, you can use palladium and platinum at room temperature and pressure. You can use nickel. If you are using nickel, the temperature is approximately 200 to 300 degrees Celsius. In that case, this reaction is known as a name reaction, Sabatier-Sanderson equation reaction. The name of this reaction in that case is Sabatier-Sanderson equation, right? That is the name of the reaction. Now, C part is you can use Raney nickel. Raney nickel is activated form of nickel. It's alloy basically. right? That also can be used at RT, room temperature, right? Important point about this reaction is, can you tell me which alkane cannot be prepared by this reaction? Chat me, you can message me which alkane cannot be prepared by this reaction. It's a fact, trivia, kind of. Which alkane cannot be prepared by this reaction? Very good. We cannot prepare methane by this reaction. Methane can't be prepared. Why we can't prepare methane? Because methane has one carbon and you're preparing from alkenes. Alkenes are molecules where there is a double bond between carbon-carbon, right? And that is the reason we can't prepare methane from this. We need at least 2 carbon to form a double bond. Now, the second method of preparation, students, is from alkyl halides by reduction. From alkyl halides by reduction. Right? So, you'll get on reduction. Reduction is addition of hydrogen. I'm adding 2 nascent hydrogen. One of the hydrogen will combine with X to form HX, and X will be replaced by hydrogen of other molecule. This is alkane. Alkyl group, if you add 1 hydrogen, you get alkane, right? These are nascent hydrogen. The reagent you usually use here is LiAlH4. I'll write the catalyst together here. Let us say you're using a catalyst here. I'll write what catalyst you can use here or reducing agent. First, you can use zinc in HCl for this reaction. You can use zinc in acetic acid, CH3COH. You can also use zinc copper couple. Zinc copper couple in methanol. Then you can also use, very important, red phosphorus with HI you can use. Then you can also use aluminum with mercury in ethanol. All right. So these are different reagents which you can use here. I hope it is clear, right? You can, these are the catalysts. There are some other reagents which you can use here. Like you can use reducing agent, strong reducing like LiAlH4 you can use H2 palladium. They serve the same purpose, right? They have the same work. All right. Now, what we can do next is from the name reaction called Woods reaction. You are already aware of it. So we'll go a little quick. From Woods reaction. From Woods reaction. So what is Woods reaction? You take 2 alkyl halides, treat it with sodium, right? I'm not going to take phytic now. Then solvent here is dry ether. Now in this 2NaX is eliminated. The mechanism of this reaction is not important. You'll get RR plus 2NaX. So you get symmetrical alkanes. Symmetrical alkanes means you'll get even carbon alkanes. You'll get even carbon alkane. Again, limitation. We can't prepare methane. Methane can't be prepared. We can't prepare methane, right? Now, the next limitation here is only even carbon alkanes can be prepared. Only even carbon alkanes can be prepared. All right. Now, usually we also avoid using tertiary alkyl halide in this reaction because it clashes with elimination reaction. So that is also one of the limiting reagent or limitation there. In this reaction, if you use zinc, if sodium ki jagah pe you use zinc, then reaction is given a separate name. I'm not discussing it separately. That is Frank-Land reaction. It is called Frank-Land reaction if you use zinc instead of sodium, right? If R is different, you will get R dash, right? If you use different alkyl group, the problem with that is to prepare odd carbon alkane, the problem is R can combine with its own molecule to form RR. These two can react with itself to form RR dash. R dash X can combine with another R dash X to form R dash R dash. So you'll get mixture of product if you try to use different alkyl group. And mixture of product is not easy to separate. You have to separate all of them. That will increase your work. That is why we do not use different alkyl groups here. Now the next method of preparation, students, here is okay, before I go, let me discuss some questions here with Woods reaction, because Woods reaction is important, right? So I am writing some molecule here. You have to write how many Woods products are possible, how many alkanes you can get for that reaction. Now it's a very good question. I will give you the option. You first see it carefully. If you treat these three, sodium in dry ether, how many Woods products are possible? How many Woods products are possible for this? How many Woods products are possible for this? You read it through. I'll give you the options. See carefully and answer. Do not randomly answer. I'm telling you again and again, solve it and answer. So the options I'm posting here: 3. Option A is 3, 5, 6, 7. You can answer it on polls. You'll see the poll soon. Please start answering on the polls. How many Woods products are possible for this reaction? Let me write total number of products. Let's say only Woods product. Let's not write total number of products. Only Woods product. All right. So it's a very good equilibrium mixture we have got here. So we are going to close this polling. So please vote fast. All right. We are closing the polling in a count of 3, 2, 1, and done. So students, you can see many of you have voted for C, and some of you have equal number of amount have voted for A and B. Let's see this, basically what all you can get, right? So let me write it like this. There is ethyl chloride, there is methyl chloride, there is propyl chloride, correct? So now, so ethyl chloride with methyl chloride, what is the product you are going to get? Propane. Propane. Methyl chloride with propyl chloride. Sorry, we have missed. No, we have not missed anything. Methyl chloride with propyl chloride. What are you going to get? Butane. Right? Now what combination is left? Ethyl chloride with propyl chloride. What are you going to get? Pentane. So these are three cross products possible here, right? These are the three cross products possible here. Now check the self products. When ethyl combines with ethyl, you will get butane. Again, butane is repeated. Now methyl combines with methyl chloride molecule, you will get ethane, separate product. Then propyl combines with propyl molecule, you will get hexane. I think I have covered almost everything. So let us see. Total products are ethane, hexane, propentane, butane, propane, butane, butane, butane repeated. So cancel it out. So how many products are you going to get? I think you'll get 5 products. I'm not including NaCl because I have written woods. If I would have written total products, then I would have included NaCl also. My answer would have been 6. Right? Vishwanath, have you understood this, Vishwanath? All right, let's go ahead with the next preparation method. And that is by decarboxylation reaction. This is 4th method, I guess. Yes. 4th method of preparation is decarboxylation reaction. This is important. Decarboxylation reaction from carboxylic acid. How can you prepare? So the reaction is quite simple. If you treat RCOH, carboxylic acid, with NaOH first, in the presence of calcium oxide, which is the catalyst basically, and heat it, right? So first you will get a salt, RCOO minus, Na plus, right, plus water. Now what happens in this is, since you are heating it, there is O minus Na plus. This oxygen is negative. Next carbon should try to become positive. So this bond will break like this. You will get R minus formed. R minus means you are getting from what? Carbon ion. Carbon ion is formed as the intermediate, students here. Carbon ion is formed as the intermediate, and you know stability of carbon ion we have discussed is stabilized by minus R minus I effect, right? And more is the stability, more will be the reactivity of carboxylic acid. So I can write reactivity is carboxylic acid is proportional to stability of carboxylic acid, which is proportional to minus R and minus I. Now this carbon ion will combine with water molecule. Water molecule can give you H plus ion and you get RH. So basically you have removed a molecule of CO2 overall to get RH, right? I hope it is clear, right? Now I have a question for this as well. So the question for you is, you have to identify reactivity order. I am taking question only in the important reactions. Other reactions I will just move, say and move. Reactivity order of following carboxylic acids. Following acids for decarboxylation. That means which will undergo decarboxylation faster, who will react faster, who will react slower. So the one is CH3CH2OH, CH3CH2COH. The second one you have is CH2 double bond CH, COH. Third one you have is CH triple bond C, COH. Then these three may, option A is 1 greater than 2 greater than 3. Option B is 3 greater than 2 greater than 1. Option C is 3 greater than 1 greater than 2, and option D is none of the above. Answer it on poll. Satvik, reactivity of carboxylic acid, not reactivity of RCO minus, is proportional to stability of R minus. More stable is your R minus, more reaction will move in forward direction. That means more faster acid will react. So you can start attempting this. Prajwal, what happened, Prajwal? You're raising hand. Put your hand down. Start feeling the pain. What happened? Prajwal, how is Puneet? I'm not seeing him here. All right. So you will end the poll in some. On a count of 3, we are ending the poll, students here. 3, 2, 1. That's all. That's the time you get for this, right? So you can see many of you have voted for B, then A, but the number is equally distributed almost. So students, see, I told you you have to see the stability of anion. Which anion? R minus. So this is your CH3, CH2. If you remove its R, what is the anion you are going to get in this? You are going to get CH3, CH2 minus. Right? This is sp3 carbon having negative charge. Then you are going to get CH2CH minus anion, and here you are going to get HC triple bond C minus anion. Which is stable anion among all these three? Order of stability for these anion is this. Because here percentage S character is more. Percentage S more means it is close to the nucleus. Nucleus has positive charge. So carbon having more percentage S character, which is close to the nucleus, is having negative charge, right? That means this carbon has more positive charge. It will stabilize the negative charge better. Therefore, this carbon ion is better or more stable anion. Yes, Anaga, what happened? Right? So the correct answer is here B indeed. B is correct. Right? Those who have answered A, C, D, please check again. It is based on hybridization. So more is the percentage S character, more is the minus I effect. You can say this has more percentage S character, it has more minus I. Then this has minus I less. Then this being sp3, it has least minus I. Least is the minus I, least is the stability. Yes, stability of R minus is directly proportional to reactivity of RCOH. All right. Now let's see some more methods of preparation of alkanes and close it out. So next is, this was 4th. Next method is 5th one, is from alcohol, aldehyde, ketone, carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. How can you prepare alcohol? There is a one common reagent for all of them. ROH. If you treat it with HI in red phosphorus, you'll get RH, alkane, plus H2O plus I2, right? And if you take RCHO treated with 4 moles of HI, same reagent, red phosphorus, you get RH plus H2O plus 2I2. You'll get RCH3. Sorry, one carbon is less. Total number of carbon will remain same. So RCH3. Number of carbon here and here will be same. So for ketone, you will get RCOR plus 4 mole HI will give you RCH2 R plus H2O plus 2I2. Right? Now, another important thing is carboxylic acid will consume 6 moles of HI. Red phosphorus at 150 degrees Celsius, you can say. Same reagent, red phosphorus will give you RCH3 plus H2O plus 3I2. This is what you are going to get. Right? Remember this reaction, it is very, very important. Now, I'm going to take some reaction which you have recently studied, right? And that is reaction number 6. Clemmensen and Wolff-Kishner reduction. We have second PU where we have recently studied Clemmensen reduction and Wolff-Kishner. So what is Clemmensen reduction, students? If you take aldehydes or ketones, RCHO or ketones, and treat it with zinc amalgam HCl, it will convert it to RCH3 alkanes. And if it was ketone, addition of hydrogen, basically reduction, it will give you ROH H, right? Wolff-Kishner में same reaction, reagent changes. Reagent for Wolff-Kishner is hydrazine in ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol is this in basic medium. So again, you'll get RCH3, and here you'll get RCOR, which will give you addition of hydrogen. Break the pi bond, add hydrogen. So OH, H, R. So I have added one hydrogen on oxygen, one hydrogen on carbon. So this is what you are going to get. So these are also important reactions, Clemmensen and Wolff-Kishner reduction. Now the last few methods I'm going to take here is from Grignard. This also you have studied from Grignard reagent. From Grignard reagent. So Grignard reagent, students, you know, is RMGX. RMGX has a strong tendency to release R- ion, which can either act as a nucleophile or base. So if you treat R- with any acidic compound, any acidic compounds, like you can treat it with water, ammonia, which can give H+ ion, carboxylic acid, phenols, all those compounds which can give H+ ion, all acidic compounds. So they will give H+ ion to R-, and you'll get RH as the product. Again, alkane. So Grignard reagent on treatment with any compound which can give H+ ion will give you alkanes. I hope it is clear. Now, there is one more way. 8 alkanes. There are 2 carbides from hydrolysis of carbides. Yes, you will study it in P block also. Aluminium carbide, Al4C3, and beryllium carbide, Be2C. They on hydrolysis release methane gas. Both of them on hydrolysis with heat release methane gas. So you'll get aluminum hydroxide plus you'll get 3 moles of methane here, and here you'll get methane plus beryllium hydroxide. So hydrolysis, since both of them gives methane on hydrolysis, therefore these carbides are known as methanides. Right? Next, electrolysis. Electrolysis of potassium salt. So what you'll take is, you'll take RCOH, treat it with KOH. It will give you RCO minus K plus. Now you carry out electrolysis of this. So at anode, At anode, RCO minus will go, since it is electron rich, it will lose electron to form neutral species, which are your radicals. Radicals are electrically neutral, right? Yes, it is Colway's electrolysis by which you can prepare, right? Now these radical, since oxygen is radical, next carbon should also become radical. So this bond will break in homolytic manner, so that you'll get R radical plus C double bond O, radical on this carbon will form one more bond, CO2 will be eliminated. If you use 2 molecules of this, you'll get 2 moles of radical, and these 2 radicals, R radical will combine with another R radical to form R bond R, alkanes. Again, you'll get symmetrical alkanes. Very, very important. Right now, one more reaction I would tell you is this is Corey-House synthesis. If you take alkyl halides, first treat it with lithium, second you treat it with the copper halide, third you treat it with the R-X. So first 2 cases mein you'll get a reagent called R2CuLi. This is Gilman reagent. It has same function as, almost similar function as Grignard. So if it has similar function as Grignard, it will also give you R minus ion, right? And that R minus ion you are treating with R-X. You have studied alkyl halide give nucleophilic substitution reaction. So this X will leave like this, X minus R plus will combine with R minus to form a bond R dash. Again, you'll get alkane. This reaction is Corey-House synthesis. Right? So this is very, 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 very important. Anagha is saying nothing is visible. How, Anagha, nothing is visible? Anagha said it is visible to me. I can see. So that all are the method of preparations. Now, students, let us discuss quickly the physical properties as well. Physical properties also, right? So physical properties, my students, we mainly focus on boiling point and solubility if it is functional group, since alkanes are insoluble in water because they are almost non-polar. We'll talk about boiling point and melting point. So students, boiling point is directly proportional to intermolecular force. Usually they are non-polar, so intermolecular force is van der Waals force. So which force is present? Weak van der Waals force. This weak van der Waals force is directly proportional to molecular mass. More is the molecular mass, weaker is the, more is the force, and more is the boiling point. And intermolecular force is always inversely proportional to branching. As the branching will increase, boiling point will decrease, right? So remember this. For example, if you take 5 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is pentane, N-pentane. If you take this molecule, right, 2-methylbutane, and then you take neopentane, right? So since you are going from left to right, branching is increasing, boiling point will decrease. So first molecule will have more boiling point, then second, then third. Remember this is also very, very important. Now melting point में simple fact, even carbon alkane will have more melting point than odd carbon alkane, right? Even carbon alkane will have more melting point than odd carbon alkane. Why? Because even carbon alkane are symmetrical. Since they are symmetrical, you know, in studies solid state you have studied, if it is symmetrical, packing in crystal lattice will be very, very strong. If packing in crystal lattice is strong, Melting point will be more. Chemical properties are very less, students, so I'll quickly wind up. There is one chemical properties of this which I'll discuss tomorrow. That is the important one. That is reaction with halogen. So I am going to write the reactions short में because they are not very important. Combustion. They undergo combustion to give you carbon dioxide plus water. So the general reaction for that is for any hydrocarbon, any alkane, you'll have O2 giving you n moles of CO2 plus n plus 1 mole of water. And in this reaction, delta H is negative. That means this reaction is exothermic, right? So this is the combustion reaction of alkanes, right? This is combustion is also given a separate name called combustion, can also be said to be complete oxidation. Combustion is also known as complete oxidation. Now there is something called incomplete oxidation. Incomplete oxidation. Incomplete oxidation. So what is that? What is that? If you take methane plus O2, you will not get CO2, you will get CO, partial oxidation, right? Or if you take 1 mole of methane, react with O2, you'll get carbon plus water, very less oxidation, right? By the way, carbon is used in printing inks, from which you use in printing, right? So these are the different this thing. Now this is combustion without any catalyst. So I would add one more case, combustion with catalyst. So with catalyst, you will get separate products, right? For example, if you take 2 moles of methane, again react it with water, oxygen, and your catalyst is red hot copper. Red hot copper, then you'll get methanol. This reaction you'll study, you must have studied in second PUC also, in preparation of alcohol, and in surface chemistry also. Methane plus O2. If you change the catalyst, you'll get MO2O3. Now this is also called selectivity of the catalyst, right? Catalyst decide which product will be formed. This is there in surface chemistry also. HCHO plus water, right? And if you use a different catalyst, for example, if I'm taking CH3, CH2, CH3, and I treat it with catalyst called manganese acetate, MnCH3CO whole twice, then I'll directly get carboxylic acid without any elimination of carbon. Same carbon acid if you use this catalyst, right? All right. Now, if you use same, can also be given by KMNO4. KMNO4 also gives you directly CH3, CH2, COH, carboxylic acid, right? The only difference with KMNO4 is with tertiary alkane, it cannot give carboxylic acid. With the tertiary alkane, KMNO4 will give you alcohol. It will give you alcohol, right? All right. Now, next reaction is isomerization reaction. Again, not that important. I'll just tell you the catalyst. Isomerization reaction. If you take N-butane, that is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. The catalyst used for this reaction is AlCl3 in the presence of HCl. You'll get its chain isomer. That is 2-methyl-propane. That's all you need to remember. If you use this catalyst, you'll get chain branched isomer of your compound, right? That's all. Now, third is pyrolysis or cracking. So pyrolysis and cracking, may you heat a hydrocarbon at a higher temperature to get lower hydrocarbons. For example, if I heat propane, CH3, CH2, CH3, I can get the following products. I'll get ethene plus methane, or I can get propene plus hydrogen gas. So all I'm trying to say here is, when you convert higher alkane into lower alkanes by heating it, then that process is called pyrolysis or cracking of hydrocarbon. All right, this is very, very important. Now the next reaction is aromatization. This is also not that important. You need to just remember the important reaction. There is one important reaction, halogenation, that we'll discuss tomorrow. So if you take N-hexane and heat it with Cr2O3 and Al2O3 catalyst, you'll get hexanoic acid. That is CH3, CH2, 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 COOH. Right? These are the all different reactions possible for alkane. Next, last reaction for alkane is halogenation. I'll take the mechanism of this in tomorrow's class, right? Because I want you to revise it and come. If you take, because this is what you have studied in second PU also. If you take methane, treat it with chlorine in sunlight, what happens? HCl is eliminated and you will get HCl. The reaction will continue, because if you take only 1 mole of Cl2, fine. If you take chlorine in excess, reaction will continue. You'll get CH2Cl2. Further, you'll get CHCl3 chloroform. If you further repeat it, you'll get CCl4, carbon tetrachloride. We'll discuss the mechanism of this in next class. Or else let us discuss today only. We can finish it, not a big deal. Questions we'll do tomorrow. First step is initiation. So Cl-Cl bond undergo homolytic cleavage in the first step in the presence of sunlight. Always remember one thing, that in the presence of these 4 things, mechanism goes by free radical mechanism. Heat, electricity, light, and peroxide. These 4 components always favor free radical mechanism. They always favor free radical mechanism. So in the presence of sunlight, you'll get 2 Cl radical. The second step is propagation. So in the presence of Cl radical, methane may CH bond in the presence of radical will undergo homolytic cleavage, and H radical will combine with Cl radical to form HCl, and you'll get CH3Cl. Right? Next, last step is termination. In the last step, your here you'll get first radical. I have done a mistake here. Direct combination will not happen. You'll first get carbon radical. In the termination step, all the radicals will combine with each other. This will combine with Cl radical to give you CH3Cl, right? And Cl radical can combine with Cl radical to give you Cl2. All radicals will combine. So this is the mechanism. Now I have a question for you here. Question: how many monochloro products are possible? I will solve some of them you have to do for the following. So students, I'm starting with 1. So for monochloro products, you have to check the number of different carbons. If I talk about CH3, ethane. So if I talk monochloro products, means I have to attach only 1 chlorine, not 2, 3. So if I replace this hydrogen by chlorine, I'll get CH3, CH2, Cl. If I replace this hydrogen by chlorine, I'll get Cl, CH2, Cl3. Now, if you name this 1, 2, it is 1 chloroethane, 1, 2, 1 chloroethane. Both are same product. Therefore, you'll get only one monochloro product. So this case, you have only one monochloro product possible. B option, CH3, CH2, CH3, treat it with Cl2. If you replace this hydrogen, you'll get 1 chloropropane. With this hydrogen also 1 chloropropane, but with this hydrogen you'll get 2 chloropropane. So you'll get two products. One chloropropane and 2 chloropropane. So 2 monochloro products are possible. Right, now the question for you is, how many monochloro products are possible for this? Right? So guys, you can take it as homework. Kiran, check your answer again. Jayant, you also check your answer again. You guys are attending in very hurry-burry. You will get negative marks. So you can practice this as homework. You can also practice this as homework. How many monochloro products are possible for this? Practice these both. We'll discuss their answers tomorrow and start with alkenes and alkynes. We'll finish tomorrow. All right. If you have any doubts, you can ask students. That's all for today. All right. If any doubts, you can ask. That's all for today. If any doubts, we are here to answer your doubts. Thank you, all of you. Some products you have to remember, Satvik, the role of catalyst is important. For example, you should know that manganese acetate converts alkane to directly carboxylic acid. This you should know. There is no mechanism for this. For some reaction mechanisms are there that we will explain. Remaining you should know. Thank you, Sulochana. Shraddha, yes, most likely tomorrow same time. Amount of product form will be done in tomorrow's class. I was supposed to do this reaction only in tomorrow's class, but since we had time, we have discussed. Tomorrow we'll finish this reaction and do alkenes. Shreya, you are from which college? Shreya R. Revadgar. You're from which college? Thank you, Raksha. Same to you. Residential, right? Shamita, tomorrow's timing most likely will be same. Yes, thank you, Saubhagya. Tomorrow's timing most likely will be same. We'll update you on the groups. That means I have taught you before, Shreya. That's why. That's the reason you're asking this question. All right. Okay, so we'll discuss them tomorrow. And that's all for today. Thank you all. Thank you, Kavishri. Kavya also. Kavya, which college again yours? Kavya, your college? That's why all of you are in the gang. Chalo, I'll leave. There's a class waiting up next. Thank you all.